Hello, historians. Today we're looking at the second part of texts from early Christianity. We're going to start with this passage. This is also from the Gospel of Luke, and it is titled Sermon on the Mount or the Beatitudes. Now, those are titles that were given later by speakers, by scholars. Not titles that Jesus gave to this. So this first section tells us about the context. This was outside in the countryside, away from the city, away from the religious authorities, away from the civil authorities. So Jesus is teaching, and he's not at all surrounded by religious scholars and civil authorities, or governmental leaders who might interrupt with questions or who might not allow a gathering of so many people. So clearly, people were interested in Jesus. People were interested in what he was saying. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a big crowd around him. The Christian scriptures record that there was healing. Sometimes he would heal people, both physical and spiritual. So this is important because Christianity, Judaism, they all acknowledge a spiritual dimension to life, something beyond our physical dimension. And that's important when it comes time to look at how these are portrayed in art. So this is Jesus speaking. And if you read this, you think, oh, this is nuts. Because blessed are the poor. Really? Blessed are the hungry. How does that go over? Blessed are those who weep. Really? And blessed are they when you're hated on. What? When you're rejected because of me, because of Jesus. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy. For great is your reward in heaven, for this is how their fathers treated the prophets. What is going on here? It sounds mad. But note this. This is how we also judge. We look around us and we say, wow, you're blessed if you're rich. Oh, you're blessed if you've got good food, a nice place to live. If you're happy, you're blessed. If you're respected, you're blessed. Jesus is saying, don't look on the outside. Jesus is leading us to question. And he says this, woe to you who are rich. Really? Woe to you who are rich? How can that be? We say, wow, look at that person. They are blessed and they are rich. And you might even say they're blessed because they're rich. No, you'd say they're blessed, and that, or would it be the other way around? Either way, you'd equate blessings with riches. And woe to you who are well fed. And Jesus is saying, no, this is not a sign of blessing. You are not blessed if you're well fed. You are not blessed if you laugh now. No, you're not. This is not how things are. And when men speak well of you, so this is sometimes called a great reversal. Jesus is saying, do not judge this way. Do not judge according to what you see on the outside. So this is a radical difference from what we think. Do not judge on this. Instead, Jesus makes even a harder statement. I tell you who hear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. This is really hard to do. It's really hard to do. If someone strikes you on one cheek, turn to him the other also. If someone takes your cloak, do not stop him from taking your tunic. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Now, he is not saying take abuse. If you have abuse, if somebody's taking advantage of you, then get help. That's not what he's saying. That's not the message here. Martin Luther King Jr. knew exactly what Jesus was saying. He and the leaders of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and they organized sit-ins to protest against racial segregation. The message that the SCLC said to the young people and older people who trained to participate in the sit-ins, they said, listen, you are going to be spit upon, beat, you're going to be perhaps killed, but you will turn the other cheek because the people hurting you are going to hurt themselves more when they recognize that they are dealing with another human being, not just someone to look down upon, someone to treat with contempt. But when they come to realize that they are mistreating another human being, they will not only realize that they are hurting themselves, but they will repent. They will turn the other way and stop doing what they're doing. And that's what Jesus is talking about here. He's not saying take abuse. If you're getting abused in any situation, he's not saying that. He's saying act in such a way so that other people are forced to recognize your humanity. Okay. Finally, here we have this statement here. And we're going to look at a similar statement related to Buddhism a little bit later. But right now, we're going to look at this statement right here. And this statement here is sometimes called the Golden Rule. It's a nickname for this statement. This is exactly where it comes from. Do to others as you would have them do to you. And then Jesus goes on to explain that and elaborate on that. Okay? And he goes on to say this: love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High. Here's a title. Doesn't mean you're actually going to be born differently. No, you are born once physically, but he's talking here about a whole new understanding of who we are. If you do this, you will be merciful just like your Father. And by Father, he doesn't mean a physical father here. He is referring to God as Father. Okay. So be merciful. So this is a really high standard here. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Again, this is an elaboration. These are very challenging, very difficult commands. But he's saying, you are to be just like God. You are to be merciful to others. Now, we see this, and this is important to understand later events in history, so hold on to these ideas. All right. The last section comes from another gospel, another of the first 4 books of the Christian scriptures. Here Jesus says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. By world, he means the present reality, the present physical reality. Okay. Good. So make sure that you've added these notes and that you have a complete set of notes to study from. Again, remember that we are looking at these texts as historians. We're trying to understand what these people believed so that we can better understand later pieces of art and literature, and so we can better evaluate the actions of people who call themselves Christian but may behave in very different ways.